Word is, Deepwood, that you seek the seventh Toa.
He seeks. I follow. He's the herald. I'm just his biographer.
If Toa Lewa helped on your search, might he be a spirit lift?
You? With us?
We'd be honored to have you walk with us.
Walk? Ha! Not never. If you ride with me, there'll be no foot walking, just air flying.
Alright, hello everyone and welcome back to another exciting review with Toku Toy Time. I am Brock of Midwest Tokusatsu, and this week we are not looking at something from any Tokusatsu series, but we are looking at instead Lego's Bionicle. From the time Bionicle first came out, I remember it came out in 2000. I was 10. I was 10 when this first came out. It's been a long time, but this was something I saw in LEGO magazines way back in the day, and I just fell in love with this series. Since its inception through 2008, when it started to lose interest in the story, the series was just really great, developed characters. I mean, just throughout the comics, even in the movies, I thought that everything about Bionicle was just really cool and really unique. So I was sad to see it go in 2010, but now with 2015, we're going through not a continuation, but a complete new generation and rebirth. So with that, we get the original Toa coming back to us in all their glory, and I am so excited! You cannot imagine my excitement. So this before us is Toa Lewa, Master of the Jungle, and to begin, we're going to first take a look, as always, with packaging. Now, packaging to me on a Bionicle toy is pretty important, and I'll get into that in a second. But first, we're going to take a look. Here is Lewa in all of his glory. We've got his golden mask down here, normal mask up here. These little guys, I have to say, I haven't looked up too much into what the story is at the moment. I've just known that they are coming. I saw it in Target, and I had to go and get this. There was just no way I couldn't. So I don't know too much. I don't know what these things are going to be. I don't know what their purpose is. I'm excited to hopefully see a new comic. But they do have a kind of cool function. I'll show that off in a second. So that's the front. On the back, you've got Lewa, Master of the Jungle. You've got some spinning action that you have in his arms. You have the function of the little guy is to replace his mask. Again, super cool. Super, super, super cool. Over here, you've got the fact that Lewa can use the villager's weapon in his golden mask form, or is supposed to use his weapon in the golden mask form, and can use some little bits of armor. It's really cool that you can combine them together. I think that's unique. On the bottom, you have a little comic showing that off. Same thing in the instructions, so don't really need to show you that. But very cool. Very, very cool. And then, of course, all the different warnings. Nothing on the bottom, nothing on top. So that's the box. And that's kind of the disappointing part. You know what? I'll get into that right now. The disappointing part about this is that Bionicles now have a box. To me, the best part of a Toa was you had canisters. Look at these. Canisters. Canisters. Pseudo canister. It's not really a canister. And I was a little bit brutal to this one when I was a kid. Yeah. But that was the best part. You had canisters. These things that you could actually, you know, open up like such, put your figure in, and then close. And they were nice and hard, and you could store them and beat them around, and nothing would happen to them. I can't do that with a box. It's going to get crushed. It doesn't even fit in the box. The only way it fits in the box is I have to take the whole thing apart. Literally. There is no way to shove it in here without the box getting all deformed and pressed together. And it's pretty. I don't want to destroy the box, but I can't store anything in it. That's awful. I hate that. I'm going to complain about that in every review just because I miss canisters. How hard was it to have a plastic canister? It screws together. This wasn't even a canister, but it still had a canister like it's hard plastic. You have a top that you remove. You can put things in. I just want canisters. All right, that's my rant. Rant over. Put the canisters off to the side that aren't boxes. I promise you, I'm done. I'm done with that rant. So, now we'll actually take a look at the figure. So, this is Toa Lewa. Kind of cool. Actually, I take that back. It's more than cool.
All right, so putting this guy together is an absolute blast. I mean, it's a real callback to everything I loved when I was a kid. Everything about the Bionicle line now is just as good as it was then, and thank God, it's a true separation from what Hero Factory was. That was a large concern I had going into this product, and I thought that having these new line of figures would just taint what was really Bionicle. Thankfully, a true separation of that comes with the geared mechanisms being put together in the back. That creation of the rotation joints in the arm and this sort of really technic sort of feel that the figure then gets is really what makes Bionicle Bionicle. I love the design of the figure. I think that everything about it is very well designed and put together, and it's not going to fall apart and it's not going to deteriorate. I think the only thing you're going to have issues with is when putting it together, you may have a slight moment of, do the arms go here or do they go there? And that's just me, maybe, whatever.
As you can see, I mean, putting it together really, it's a lot of fun. I really enjoy it, and like I said, there's a lot of really unique things that make this still very Bionicle. A lot of the fear that I had with this is the thing that replaced Bionicle was Hero Factory, and I didn't want this to just be another offshoot of Hero Factory. It needed to be distinctly Bionicle, and I thought part of that is lost with the canister to me. I know I'm just a packaging nut, I guess. It's just me. But there's still a lot in here that I think really holds up to what Bionicle is, except for the mask falling off. And that's one thing I don't really care about, but I'll talk about that in just a second. The thing that really helps make it Bionicle to me still and keeps that sort of awesomeness to it is this. That gear motion, that technic sort of, you know, you have to build this all together. And I really like how complex it is. I know I said that before. I just really, really like that. So, as far as flaws in the figure, I will say that one thing I don't care for necessarily right away is the fact that the mask is not the greatest thing in the world to stay on here. I know you're supposed to press down on the head and it flings the mask off, which I also don't like. I like the fact that my eyes stay in the eye hole, not that it's floppy. I don't like that. I don't like the floppy. But I get it. It's a cool gimmick, something to hold on to. But yeah, I wish this had more tolerance to hold it in place, but I mean, it's not gonna just fall off, but it's loose by comparison to what the little creature mask is. So as you can see, when I put it together in the video, I had it in the other form with the long sort of, and we'll just show that here. You can take these off, and then you just attach them on the other side of the hand, and now you kind of get this really long, cool staff. As awesome as that is, and I do think it looks pretty cool. I like better Lewa having the sort of wings with the turbines, because Lewa's mask is the mask of levitation, at least back in the old days. So he can go up and he can go down, but he can't really propel himself in any direction, which is why his Nuva form, having the glider wings, was really awesome, because now he could actually fly, because he could levitate up and then glide anywhere. So same thing kind of applies here. He has these wings with the turbines, so I think that's really cool that they stayed true to his character with the mask of levitation not being a mask of flight. So the other things that come in the packages are his gold mask. Back in the day, again, I'm going to date myself, the gold masks were important. They allowed him to have the ability of every other power. So you kind of worked really hard to find the gold mask in any of the little blind boxes. But you can just take that off, put it on, and now he's super powered Lewa. Really like that, think it's cool. So then, of course, you have the little guy over here. Now this, on its own, is just a really unique looking figure. I love the fact that it's a mask that's alive, and from any given angle, it just looks like a little spider. I really like that. You don't really see the mask. You just see this little creature crawling along the ground. It's very nice. They did a good job with molding this. But clearly it is also supposed to be a mask. So what you do for that is you just kind of fold all the legs up like that. And then you come over here, take off Lewa's mask, and then you just come up. And this is what I was talking about. You put this one on, And it sticks a lot better. I don't get why, it just does. And I hate that, because the other masks should be the ones that's more secure. Now, what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to come in here, kind of slide these legs around, and then these ones are actually supposed to go underneath. I have not figured out a way, other than taking the head off and forcing the legs under and then putting the head back on, to get these legs to go underneath comfortably at all. And in addition to that, once they're actually underneath after you take the head off, you can't get the head back on. So instead you get this sort of legs wrap his chest and head, and you can see the eyes are still through there, which is nice. But it's this eternal I'm looking down pose. So I'm imagining like he gets attacked with this, and then it's I am powered down mode sort of thing, and just in hibernation. It's inhibited me from doing anything. I don't know how else to, what else to do with this, because I can't pose his head in any direction other than eternally down. But it's still, I love the mask. I think it's cool. So I like the idea. It's inhibited by the fact that it can't look anywhere but down. So put on the original mask. Now let's just talk quick about points of articulation. So we'll come to the head. You do have a ball joint. It's incredibly limited. It can turn side to side with ease, but it can also look down. It can really look down. It can look into its own chest and hide, but it's got no up. It fails on the up because you've got too much, little kibble in the back from the gears. And I get that. I get that's going to be there, but it just sucks that you can get him to look everywhere else but up. On the guy that can freaking fly, I can't get a flying pose from him. I can't get that head up, but that's just me being nitpicky on that. So I love that he can look everywhere else, including that. I don't get why he's hiding inside of his chest. It's not like he has a shirt that's his chest, but he can do it. So there's that. As far as the shoulders go, you've got plenty of movement there, in, out. You can take it all the way around on the actual joint. You've got the elbows. They can bend pretty well. A little more than 90. As far as the wrists, they are ball jointed, so they can go anywhere you like at all. And those aren't inhibited, so that's good. Of course, with the elbows, you could go back without this point on here and this in the way. I don't know why you'd want to break his arm, but, if you wanted to be that guy. As far as the hips, again, ball jointed. So you've got no problems anywhere. Everything on here, it's all ball jointed. So unless something gets in the way, you've got really good motion. Knees, a little bit more than 90. As far as the ankles go, again, plenty of movement. All ball jointed. You can go way back, way forward. Nice tilt, everything, anything. That's one thing that's really great about a Bionicle figure. Plenty of posability. One thing I do like is that you get these little things up here are movable. So you can kind of get them out of the way for even more head turning. The head is posable. I get the head is posable. Just why can't it look up? So that's kind of a downside. Now, great thing about Bionicle, that light piping. That light piping of the eyes, just, it really plays well. I like that you still get the light piping. So that's the important parts to Toa Lewa. Now, the one thing that I have to say, and you've seen them, is I have every version of Lewa from way back in the day. So here he is with the original. We have come such a long way. And I love that the color scheme is still there. You've added a lot more yellow to this and taken away the lime green, but a lot of the elements are still there. And I'll talk about the masks in a second. I might do just a comparison of those quick. But I like that Lewa had the original axe, and now all of a sudden he just, after the initial version, he gained swords, but there's a height comparison, pretty small. And I'm complaining about, you know what, I really shouldn't complain anymore. I'm complaining about head motion. You didn't get head motions with these. You just got, you could change the peg and he's either looking completely straight up or he's looking completely straight forward or completely to the side. There was no head motion. So I don't know why I'm complaining about bad head motion. I guess I'm just spoiled. I am now spoiled, ladies and gentlemen. He's spoiled. I don't know why he's complaining. So that's the original Toa. So we'll put him off to the side now after I put his finger back on. And then we'll look at the Nuva version. A little bit better for height. Again, these guys weren't the most posable, but you know, you did have the gear action. So really enjoyed that. And this was what I was talking about, is when they gave him the flight form where he could just take his hands and go like this. Wait, hold it. There we go. And that was his gliding form. Glide. Majestically as such. So there's Lewa in Nuva form. And then this was Fantoka, the last iteration of Lewa before they stopped making Bionicles. I was very happy they brought him back, and then I got the figure, and I was just like, this is really not Lewa. As you can see, he's much taller. In fact, I'm going to adjust the camera just for him a little. Much taller. They gave him, you know, jetpacks on the side. Those were kind of cool. It's just, I don't know. There was something about later Bionicles where they lost their magic, and he is broken, and I have to super glue that joint because I can't find a piece to replace it, but that's me. That's me having to fix old figures. I did like his sword. His sword was really cool way back in the day. And of course his gimmick then was, you know, you had this firing spring ball thing that I don't know why they gave to children, but they thought it was a good idea. But Fantoka. So those are all the previous iterations of Lewa, and then like I said, you know what, I'm just going to do a quick close-up of all the masks for you. Alright, and here they are, evolution of Lewa's masks from left to right, oldest to newest. As you can see, they've really decided to keep a lot of the design elements going through, and I enjoy that a lot. Just throughout the masks, I mean, you really see that he's got those slanted eyes going on in the new mask. The big opening gaps along the side are right in there a little bit. Even from Fantoka, they took a little bit with kind of like the turbines off to the side, having kind of air intakes here and here. I really like this sort of like visor sort of thing coming down, and it just, the great thing about this is they're really paying homage to the old Toa while being new. So I appreciate it. I'm so far very happy with just this one figure, and if the other Toa are anything like this, I'm really going to be just very happy to have them, because I have to get all 6 Toa. It's just, it's an inevitability. There's going to be more of these reviews. So those are the masks. And then like I said, I mean, this is honestly a really great figure. I love the gear mechanism. I can't get over, I mean, this really makes it Bionicle to me. I'm glad that it's there. I'm glad that there's enough differentiation for me between Hero Factories and this where I can just look at it and say, this is still Bionicle. If Lego keeps up with this, and really, I mean, I've seen the other figures, I think that they're going to be just as good once I get them in hand. I think they did a good job. I really think that 2015 Bionicle is going to be a great, great starting point for a ton of kids who never got to experience this, and then hopefully it'll go for more years and more iterations, and we'll see new things to come. I mean, they might have a completely new story. I haven't heard any mention of Matanui in anything I've read, so I mean, they're going all out and being new, so we'll see what happens. So I think that's about it for this review. If you like what you saw and you want more, please click the subscribe button below. Like, comment, share, and favorite the video, and if you want to see a specific review, comment. Please, comment. You can follow us over at Facebook and at Instagram. Details will be in the description. Once again, this is Brock of Midwest Tokusatsu and Toku Toy Time, and this is Toa Lewa. Just, I love it. So, we are out. Slice, slice, slice.
Next time on Toku Toy Time.
Wind fly, sand twister. Sand and fire. Makes glass.
Chop, 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 chop. What? I like to chop things. And maybe do the monkey. Do the monkey.